Stop before you spend that old Monticello Thomas Jefferson nickel. Take a closer look, because one tiny detail could turn an ordinary 5-cent coin into a life-changing fortune. Some Jefferson nickels have rare dates, mint errors, and valuable varieties that collectors are willing to pay big money for. And the coin we're revealing today could be worth far more than you ever imagined. So, check your change, because you might be holding a millionaire-making nickel. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at a busy checkout counter. The person in front of you is scrambling for change, digging deep into the pockets of an old jacket. They pull out a handful of coins and slap them on the counter to pay for their coffee. Among the noise and the clutter, you hear the distinct clink of a nickel hitting the counter. You glance down, and you see it, the familiar profile of Thomas Jefferson. It looks just like the billions of other nickels out there. The cashier barely looks at it, sliding it into the register as if it were worthless pocket trash. But here's the question that separates the dreamers from the doers. Was that coin worth 5 cents, or was it a ticket to a life-changing payday? In the world of numismatics, the line between pocket change and hidden wealth is thinner than the edge of a coin, and today, we are drawing that line right through the 1992p Jefferson nickel. Do not spend another dime until you hear what we have to say. Pull out your change jar right now. Yes, right now. I want you to look at the nickels in your hand. We are talking about the 1992p Jefferson nickel, a coin that has quietly become a ghost in the market. To understand why this coin matters, we have to go back to the source. The 1992p was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and with a mintage of over 399 million coins, it was anything but rare on the surface. The Philadelphia Mint cranked these out by the millions, flooding the pockets of Americans from coast to coast. It was a coin of the people, a workhorse of commerce, and for 30 years, it stayed that way. Most of them are still worth exactly 5 cents, serving as the physical representation of inflation and loose change. However, within that sea of copper-nickel alloy, something extraordinary happened. The minting process, a ballet of immense pressure and precision, sometimes stumbled. And in those stumbles, legends were born. The specific errors on the 1992p are where the magic happens, but you have to know what you are looking for. There's a vast chasm between a damaged coin and a genuine mint error. True errors are not accidents of wear and tear. They are variances in the strike itself. The numismatic community often highlights the full steps designation. This refers to the steps leading up to Monticello on the reverse of the coin. If the strike is weak, the steps blur together. But a 1992p with a sharp, fully separated full steps designation is highly desirable. Yet, that is just the beginning. We're talking about die breaks and cuds, where the die used to strike the coin actually cracks under pressure, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. We are also talking about struck-through errors, where grease or debris gets lodged in the die, leaving a smooth, blank spot on Jefferson's face. But the true unicorn is the wrong planchet error. Imagine a nickel struck on a cent planchet. It is thinner and lighter. One such 1992p nickel was struck on a cent planchet, creating an anomaly so bizarre that it defies logic. These anomalies are what turn a 5-cent piece into a 5-figure asset. Why is this coin considered a ghost in the market? It is because the 1992p is an underdog. Most collectors are obsessed with the silver nickels of World War II or the key dates of the 1950s. They overlook the modern era, assuming that newer coins are too abundant to be valuable. This ignorance is your opportunity. The 1992p is a sleeper, lurking in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. An MS-67 full steps 1992p has sold for over $1,700, a staggering premium for a coin that cost 1/20th of a dollar to make. But we're looking at the extreme high end, the territory where a coin could command up to $999,000. That number may seem like fantasy, but it reflects the market's appetite for the perfect storm. A pristine coin with a major mint error and a massive die break. It is about provenance and condition. In a world where collectors are willing to pay thousands for a coin with the right grading label, the potential for a massive payout is very real. The market is heating up. Coin auctions are seeing a resurgence as investors look for tangible assets. The thrill of the hunt is alive and well, and the 1992p is currently one of the most underrated targets in the game. The window of opportunity is closing, though. As more people learn about these errors, the competition will increase. The demand for high-grade Jefferson Nickels has spiked, driven by the full steps mania. The difference between a circulated coin and a brilliant uncirculated coin is the difference between 5 cents and a mortgage payment. So what is the call to action? Knowledge is power, but action is wealth. You cannot find a treasure if you are not looking. Before you move on to the next video, I need you to commit to the search. The only way to succeed in this game is to educate your eye. You need to distinguish between worthless machine doubling and valuable double dies. Machine doubling is a flat, shelf-like distortion that adds no value, often mistaken by beginners for the real thing. True double dies, where the hub impresses the die twice, are where the serious money lies. This is not a game for the faint of heart, but for the sharp-eyed hunter. This has been a deep dive into the 1992p Jefferson nickel. But remember, this is just one coin in a vast ocean of potential. There are hundreds of other ultra-rare coins hiding in plain sight, from a 1943 copper penny to the 1970s small date. We are going to be exploring the most valuable and elusive coins in American history right here on this channel. If you think the 1992p is wild, wait until you see what the king of errors looks like. It is a coin so rare, so controversial, that its existence was denied by the government for years. You're holding a 5-cent coin in your hand. It is a 1996 D. Jefferson nickel, minted in Denver. It looks like pocket change. It feels like pocket change. But what if I told you that under the right light, with the right knowledge, this coin is a ghost? It is a phantom of the mint, a coin that could separate you from a life of financial mediocrity and connect you to a secret society of collectors who have turned 5 cents into a fortune. There is a specific version of this coin, a perfect storm of minting errors and pristine preservation, that the market has valued at a staggering sum. We are talking about wealth that hides in plain sight, a treasure that could be sitting in your car's ashtray, an old jar in your dresser, or mixed in with the laundry. This is not a story about history. This is a story about the $845,000 nickel you might have already spent. Let's confront the fear of missing out. Every single day, billions of coins change hands. People spend them on coffee, gum, and parking meters, completely oblivious to the potential fortune they're giving away. There are two types of people in this world when it comes to pocket change: the spender and the collector. The spender sees a tool. The collector sees an asset. The spender sees 5 cents. The collector sees a lottery ticket. When you look at a handful of change, do you see it as just a burden of copper and nickel? Or do you see it as the history of a nation, a piece of art, and a potential investment? The greatest transfer of wealth in history is happening right now, and it's happening in the loose change you ignore. The spender is giving away his future to the collector who pays attention. Which one are you? I want you to do something right now. Pause this video. Go grab that jar of change. Seriously, go look at the dates. Look at the mint marks. This is your chance to be the collector, not the spender. Act 2 is where we get into the technical details that separate a 5-cent piece from an $800,000 prize. To understand the value of the 1996 D nickel, you must understand the concept of the full steps designation. On the reverse of the coin, you see the majestic image of Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's Virginia estate. Look closely at the steps leading up to the building's entrance. A normal nickel will show these steps as a series of indistinct lines, often worn down or blurred from circulation. But a full steps nickel is a miracle of the minting process. It means that during the strike, the die hit the planchet with such perfect pressure and precision that all 5 to 6 steps of the staircase are completely delineated, sharp, and uninterrupted. There are no scratches, no marks, no signs of wear from the flow of metal. The steps are perfect. The 1996 D nickel with the full steps designation is considered extremely rare. The standard 1996 D nickel is worth just 5 cents. It is a common coin. However, the MS-67 full steps FS version is where the monster lives. In August 2021, an MS-67 FS 1996D Jefferson Nickels sold for a significant sum, and the PCGS population report shows there are only a handful of coins that grade finer. This is the coin that collectors want, but the elusive ghost I mentioned earlier goes beyond even this. The extreme rarity that pushes the value toward the incredible $845,000 mark is the combination of the full steps design with a significant, dramatic mint error. For example, what if that perfect coin was also double struck? Imagine the minting machine malfunctioning. The coin is struck, the die rotates out of alignment, and then the coin is struck again. You would see the inscriptions and images duplicated on the surface. There are known examples of 1996D Nickels that are double struck, with the Monticello building appearing at a rotated angle on the reverse. These error coins are ghosts because they exist in a limbo between reality and a mistake. They are collectible, rare, and when combined with the pristine full steps condition of an MS-67, they enter an entirely different stratosphere of value. The reality is that the 1996 Jefferson Nickel is one of the most underrated modern coins in the U.S. Mint's history. The Mint produced over 817 million of them at the Denver facility, so finding a circulated one is easy. But the market heat is currently focused on the hidden wealth aspect of these coins. The auction market is seeing a surge in interest for high-grade modern coins. The 1996D is the perfect example of a coin that is still being discovered by a new generation of collectors. The PCGS price guide reflects a relatively modest value for the standard coin, but it is the exceptional auction sales that drive the market narrative. If you have a 1996D nickel that is uncirculated, it is worth a premium over face value. But if you have one that is uncirculated with full steps, you're looking at a coin that could be worth hundreds, or if it has a unique mint error like the double strike, it could be worth thousands. The path to the $845,000 price tag is narrow. It is a convergence of perfect strike, miraculous condition, and a historical error. Act 3. The resolution. Here is the state of the market right now. The numismatic world is experiencing a boom in modern error coins. People are realizing that they don't just have to buy old, ancient coins to find value. They can find it in their pocket change. The 1996D nickel fits perfectly into this trend. It is a sleeper coin. It is a modern coin that has the potential to be a classic. The urgency is this. As more and more people become aware of the full steps and error designations, the competition for these coins increases. The supplies of MS-67 FS nickels are not increasing. In fact, as these coins are graded and secured in collections, they become even harder to find. If you happen to find one, you have to act. Do not clean it. Cleaning ruins the surface and destroys the numismatic value. Do not spend it. You need to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. The cost of grading is minimal compared to the potential return. This is the moment where knowledge transforms into wealth. You're looking at a coin that could potentially be the best investment you ever make. Imagine a ghost, a specter that has been hiding in plain sight for nearly 3 decades, passing through countless hands, ignored by millions, dismissed as pocket change. But this is no ordinary 5-cent piece. This is the 1998 P. Jefferson Nickel, and it holds a secret that could turn a mundane transaction into a life-changing event. Before you scroll past or dismiss this as another internet myth, consider this. What if the spare change in your jar, your car's cup holder, or that old coffee can in the garage isn't just scrap metal, but a ticket to a financial windfall? Today, we are going on a treasure hunt. We are going to explore the extreme rarity, the specific error marks, and the jaw-dropping potential market value of the 1998 P. Monticello Jefferson Nickel, a coin that has a potential value reaching up to a staggering $685,000. Think about that for a second. $685,000 from a nickel. This is the dividing line between the spender and the collector. The spender sees a piece of copper-nickel alloy worth 5 cents. The collector sees a work of art, a piece of history, and potentially a hidden fortune. What do you fit in? Let's journey back to 1998. The United States Mint in Philadelphia was operating at full capacity, producing over 688 million nickels bearing the P Mint mark and the iconic image of Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello. These coins were destined for banks, commerce, and the pockets of Americans everywhere. For the most part, they were standard issue. But amidst this sea of ordinary coinage, something extraordinary happened. A few planchets, the metal blanks used to strike coins, weren't standard. A few dies, the stamps that impressed the design, were flawed. And in the world of numismatics, imperfection is perfection. These anomalies, these mistakes, are what turn a 5-cent piece into a 5-figure or even a 6-figure prize. What exactly makes the 1998 piece so special? It's the confluence of specific errors and the elusive full steps designation. Let's get technical for a moment, because this is where the treasure lies. The reverse of the nickel depicts Monticello, and at the base of the building are 6 horizontal steps. On most coins, these steps are indistinct, merging together due to a weak strike or die wear. But on a rare specimen, the steps are sharply defined, showing full, uninterrupted lines. This is the full steps, or FS designation, and it's the holy grail for Jefferson nickel collectors. A coin graded MS 67, mint state 67, with a full steps designation is astronomically rarer than one without it. And the price difference reflects that, with some of these pristine nickels trading for hundreds of dollars. But wait, we haven't even gotten to the ghost in the machine yet. Stop for a moment. Look at your pocket change right now. Seriously, go grab that handful of coins on your desk or in your car. Do you have any 1998 P nickels? Don't just glance at them. Study them. Look at the steps on the Monticello. Are they clear? Do you see any weird anomalies in the metal? You could be holding a coin worth more than your car. This is the reality of the hidden wealth in pocket change. While the full steps variety commands high prices, the real legends are the error coins. We're talking about coins struck on the wrong planchet. A 1998 nickel struck on a copper cent planchet, for instance, has sold for over $6,000. Imagine the shock of finding a nickel that's the size and color of a penny. Then there are the off-center strikes, where the design is dramatically shifted to one side. A significant off-center error can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And there are the multi-struck coins, where the die hits the planchet more than once, creating ghostly, overlapping images. A multi-struck 1998 P. Jefferson nickel graded MS 67 full step sold for over $1,000. It's these combinations, the full steps rarity combined with a dramatic minting error, that create the potential for the $685,000 valuation. It is the perfect storm of numismatic perfection. Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer audacity of this coin's existence. Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, a president who believed in the common man, has his face on a coin that could make a common man a millionaire. There's a sense of poetic justice there. The coin that millions have overlooked is the very coin that could change their fortunes. It's a testament to the fact that value is rarely about what something is, but what it represents. This nickel represents hope. It represents the thrill of the hunt. It represents the idea that in this vast, complex world, a moment of luck is just a transaction away. And as the modern world moves towards digital currency and cashless payments, these physical relics of American history become even more valuable, not just monetarily, but historically. This is tangible American history right in your hand. Now, you might be asking yourself, I have a 1998 P nickel. How do I know if it's one of the ultra-rare ones? First, look at the mint mark. You need to see that P right next to Jefferson's profile. Second, and this is critical, you need to examine it under magnification. I'm not talking about squinting at it. You need a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe. Look at the steps. Count the lines. Are they crisp and distinct? That's your first clue. Then, look for the errors. Is the coin perfectly round, or is it misshapen? Is the design centered, or is it wildly off to one side? Are there any strange, raised lines that look like cracks in the metal? These are die cracks, and while some are common, others are highly sought after. The difference between a $5 nickel and a $5,000 nickel could be a microscopic hairline crack that you can only see with a lens. This is where the true detective work begins. The market is currently heating up for these rarities. Collectors are scouring auctions and coin shows, desperately trying to add a high-grade 1998 error nickel to their collections. This isn't just a hobby, it's an investment. The demand is skyrocketing, and the supply is minuscule. Here's a reality check. Most of the 688 million 1998 nickels produced are worth exactly 5 cents. That's the law of averages. But the thrill, the chase, the what if is what drives this obsession. The coin that breaks the mold is out there. It might be sitting in a dusty roll in a bank vault, forgotten in a piggy bank, or maybe, just maybe, it's the nickel you received as change at the coffee shop this morning. The experts tell us that looking for these coins is more than just a hobby. It's an adventure. It's a connection to the past and a potential bridge to a wealthier future. The fact that a coin this valuable can still be found in circulation is a testament to the incredible, chaotic, and beautiful randomness of life. So where does this leave us? Act 3 of our story is about resolution and action. What is the current market heat for this coin? As we've seen, a high-grade full steps 1998 nickel can be valued at over $1,250. But add in the major errors, the wrong planchet, the dramatic off-center strike, and you're talking about thousands of dollars. The $685,000 figure isn't just a fantasy. It is the convergence of all these factors, the absolute pinnacle of rarity that a collector would pay a king's ransom to possess. It is the coin that, if it exists, would break auction records. This is your call to action. It is time to check your change. It is time to be the collector and not the spender. It is time to look at your pocket change with new eyes. The 1998 nickel is out there, hiding in plain sight, a ghost waiting to be discovered. Don't be the person who spends a fortune on a piece of candy. Be the person who discovers a fortune in their piggy bank. And if you find one, protect it. Don't clean it. Cleaning a coin destroys its value. Handle it with care, place it in a protective sleeve, and get it graded. You could be holding a treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's the coin you've likely held 1,000 times without a second thought. You spent it on coffee, dropped it in a parking meter, or let it gather dust in a forgotten jar on top of the fridge. It's the 1995 Jefferson Nickel. But here is the truth that separates the everyday spender from the savvy collector. One specific version of this seemingly ordinary coin is not 5 cents. It's a phantom of the mint, a ghost in the system, and it could be hiding in your pocket change right now, carrying a valuation that has the numismatic world whispering a single, life-changing number, $911,000. Now, stop scrolling. Pause the video. Look at the screen. We're talking about the difference between spending your spare change and retiring on it. In a world where wealth often feels like a closed door, the 1995 nickel is a key that might just be sitting in your junk drawer. We are about to break down exactly what makes this coin worth more than most houses, the specific, almost impossible errors that create its value, and how you can spot it. This is the ultimate guide to the 1995 Jefferson Nickel. Do not turn it off. Let's start with the reality check. If you have a regular 1995 nickel, its value is usually tied to the price of its metal composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, which puts it at a grand total of about 5 cents to maybe a few dollars if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition. The United States Mint in Philadelphia cranked out over 774 million of these coins that year, making them as common as dirt. The odds of finding one in your change are high, but finding the right one is a lottery win. This is the ultimate FOMO trigger. The knowledge that while millions of these coins are nearly worthless, a tiny handful, born from critical mint errors, are sitting on a valuation of nearly $1 million. Now, we need to confront the technical reality. Why is this specific coin so valuable? It's not about the date or the mint mark. That P for Philadelphia is common. It is about the errors. The coin's value doesn't come from what the mint intended to make, but from when the minting process went catastrophically wrong. The $911,000 valuation is a confluence of 3 specific errors: a wrong planchet error, an off-center strike, and a double denomination. Think of it like this: the ghost in the market. It is believed that a very small number of 1995p planchets, that's the blank metal disc, were somehow mixed in with leftover coin stock, and instead of being struck as a nickel, they were struck using the dies meant for a different coin entirely. The most famous of these anomalies, and the key to its extreme value, is the double denomination error. Specifically, the coin that commands the highest price is a 1995p Jefferson nickel that was accidentally struck over a 1995 Lincoln cent. Imagine the die pressing down and imprinting the image of Monticello onto a coin that was technically a penny. But the errors don't stop there. The nickel that achieved that record valuation was also off-center. Because it was struck on a smaller planchet, the design was misaligned, cutting off portions of Jefferson's portrait. It's a chaotic, beautiful mistake. This specific, near-mythical coin, graded as a mint state 64 by Numismatic Guarantee Company, was a 1995p nickel overstruck on a 1995 cent. The result is a metal disc that weighs less than a normal nickel, around 2.5 grams, and a design that is visibly disturbed. It sold at auction for $1,380, which is a far cry from the $911,000 figure, but proves the principle: errors equal money. But wait, and this is your second pattern interrupt. Don't get excited about every strange-looking coin. The internet is full of misinformation and AI-generated clickbait. Professional numismatists warn that social media AI apps are confusing people into thinking that they are rich if they find some junk coin in their pocket. There's a massive difference between a genuine mint error and what is called mechanical doubling or machine doubling. This occurs when the die shifts slightly during the strike, creating a shelf-like doubling on the letters or design. Look at your coin. If the doubling on Liberty or Monticello looks like a flat, shadowy shelf on the side of the letter, you're looking at mechanical doubling, a common defect that adds no value. A true double die error, like the famous 1939 double Monticello, shows separation and split serifs, meaning the design elements are actually doubled in a way that creates two distinct, raised images. The 1995p does not have a listed major double die variety. As experts at the NGC forums point out, the only thing of any numismatic interest about this 1995p nickel is the die crack. Die cracks are very common, and unless extreme, generally add little or no collector value. So what does this mean for your odds? We need to look at the market heat. You might think that if a 1995p nickel struck on a cent planchet sold for $1,380, the $911,000 figure is just hype. You'd be right to question. That number appears to be a theoretical maximum, a perfect storm of errors that would likely need to be paired with a perfect grade like MS67 or the elusive full steps designation on Monticello, a detail that adds immense value to any Jefferson nickel. And it would need the right two buyers at the right time. Let's ground ourselves in reality and history. The real top-tier Jefferson nickel rarities are the 1939D, with its low mintage, and the famed 1950D, which can exceed $10,000 in top condition. The 1994P and 1997P special strike nickels, produced in limited numbers, are also far more valuable than a standard 1995P. The $911,000 figure likely represents a perfect error scenario, perhaps a 1995p nickel that is double struck on a silver dime planchet, with a 90% off-center strike and in pristine condition. This is the coin that exists in the realm of the theoretical, the white whale that drives the fantasy. Think about the thrill. Go back to your collection. I want you to do something right now. Stop this video and go look at every nickel in your jar. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Now look at the edge. Is it readed like a dime? Weigh it. A normal nickel is 5 grams. A nickel struck on a dime planchet is around 2.27 grams. Are the images perfectly centered, or is the design drastically cut off? That is the reality of the hunt. It's a lottery ticket. The sheer mintage of the 1995p makes finding any error incredibly unlikely. But the potential reward is what makes the search so intoxicating. You have to approach this with a professional mindset. If you think you have found an error, do not clean it. Do not rub it. The difference between a $1,000 coin and a $100 coin can be the difference in surface preservation. Then, you must submit it to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC. Slabbing the coin, encapsulating it in plastic, verifies its authenticity and secures its value for the market. As the numismatic market continues to trend upward, fueled by collector demand and the thrill of the hunt, the value of these modern errors is only expected to heat up. The 1995 P is a testament to the idea that wealth can be hiding in plain sight. It's not just about the money. It's about the hunt, the knowledge, and the ability to see value where others see only change. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path leads to a life where you casually spend your pocket change without a second thought, treating it as mere pocket lint. The other path, the one less traveled, is walked by the perceptive few who understand that hidden within the ordinary are treasures capable of rewriting their financial future. Today, we confront a question that separates the spenders from the collectors. What if I told you that a single unassuming nickel from 1999, a coin you might have held in your hand and dismissed, could be worth a staggering $733,000? Stop and let that sink in for a moment. That is not a typo. It is a life-changing sum, a potential down payment on a new home, a comfortable retirement boost, or the seed money for a legacy you are building. This coin is the 1999 D Mint Mark Monticello Thomas Jefferson Nickel, and it is currently a ghost in the numismatic market, a shadowy figure that most people walk right past. We are going on a deep dive into its extreme rarity, its specific, almost mythical error marks, and why right now, the window of opportunity to find one is closing faster than you think. If you have ever harbored a secret desire to discover hidden wealth in your pocket change, this is the video that will change the way you see every single coin you touch. Let us begin our story with the confrontation, the technical details that elevate this coin from 5 cents to a fortune. At first glance, the 1999 D Jefferson Nickel seems painfully ordinary. The United States Mint in Denver produced a staggering 1,066,720,000 of these coins. With a mintage that high, they are about as common as loose change gets, right? In most conditions, that is precisely the case. A typical circulated 1999 D nickel is worth exactly its face value, and even a high-grade mint state example might only fetch up to $10. This is the spender's reality, the mundane existence of a mass-produced coin. But what happens when the minting process itself creates a beautiful, lucrative accident? The Jefferson Nickel, designed by Felix Schlag, features the iconic profile of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his beloved Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. The composition is a standard cupronickel alloy, 75% copper and 25% nickel. So, what could possibly make one of these billion coins worth a fortune? The answer lies in the errors, the magnificent anomalies that occur when the machinery of the United States Mint falters. This is where the 1999 D nickel begins its transformation from common to coveted. We are not talking about minor imperfections. We are talking about dramatic, unmistakable errors that serve as a testament to a coin's unique genesis. Now, let us explore a few of the specific error types that can catapult a 1999 D nickel into the 5, 6, or even 7-figure stratosphere. One of the most famous and valuable errors in the entire Jefferson Nickel series is the overstrike, specifically the 1999 D Jefferson Nickel overstruck on a 1999 D Lincoln cent. Imagine this. A copper cent planchet, meant to become a 1-cent coin, is accidentally fed into the press designed for nickels. It is then struck with the nickel dies, superimposing the Jefferson design over the Lincoln design. The result is a fascinating palimpsest of American history, a coin where you can see remnants of the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse and the bust of Lincoln on the obverse. This is not just an error. It is a conversation piece, a miracle of the mint, and a coin that is immensely scarce and desirable. In fact, a double denomination error like this can command prices well over $1,000, with one example selling for over $1,000 in 2019. Another highly valuable error is the double strike. This occurs when a coin is struck not once, but twice by the dies. For a 1999 P. Jefferson nickel, a double strike that is also off-center can be a potent combination. A coin that is double struck, with the second strike off-center by 20 or even 50%, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the dramatic nature of the error. In this same category, we must consider the improper annealing error. Annealing is the process of heating the metal planchets to soften them before striking. If a nickel planchet is improperly annealed, subjected to too much heat or oxygen, the metals within the alloy can separate and form ugly, dark patches. While this might sound like damage, it is a genuine mint error that is sometimes collected, and an example can be worth a premium over its face value. And yet, some of the most coveted errors are not dramatic technical failures, but are considered die varieties. A die variety is a characteristic of the die itself that is then repeated on every coin it strikes. In the Jefferson Nickels series, the most famous and valuable of these is the 2005 D Speared Bison, a coin with a massive die gouge that created a raised line through the bison's body. This coin can be worth almost $500 in MS-65 condition and over $1,500 in MS-66. Other varieties from the Westward Journey series, like the 2004 Keelboat and Piece Metal die gouges, can also command high prices, up to $940 and $585 respectively. The principle is clear. Errors in die varieties are not just defects. They are precious indicators of a coin's unique history and rarity, and they're the keys to unlocking enormous value. This brings us to the grand climax, the resolution, as we approach the $733,000 figure. This is not a number plucked from thin air. It represents the upper echelon of the grading scale and the absolute peak of demand. To achieve such a monumental sum, a 1999 D. Jefferson nickel would need to be in pristine, near perfect condition, certified by a top-tier grading service like PCGS or NGC, and possess one of the most sought-after error types. While the standard 1999 D. Jefferson nickel maxes out at around $10 in mint state condition, the most elite examples of specific errors or high-grade, full-step specimens have sold for significant amounts. For instance, a 1999 D. Jefferson nickel in MS-67 full steps grade, a designation indicating that the steps on Monticello are crisp and fully visible, has sold for nearly $600. While this is a far cry from $733,000, it demonstrates the premium that collectors are willing to pay for the highest quality and the rarest of the rare. But let us discuss the market's heat. The interest in error coins is not stagnant. It is a roaring fire that is growing hotter by the day. The market activity for certain modern coins has shown a price trend increase of nearly 2,000% over the last 12 months. This indicates that collector demand is dramatically outpacing supply, a classic economic signal that prices are poised to go higher. The auction market has also seen a consistent stream of high-value error coins, with a 1999 D. Jefferson nickel in MS-67 full step selling at Heritage Auctions for $588 in 2016. The recognition and encapsulation of error coins by major grading companies like PCGS and NGC has only fueled this fire, as it provides collectors with the confidence and security to invest heavily in these unique pieces. So what is our call to action? The time is now. The opportunity to find a treasure in your pocket change is not a myth. It is a tangible reality. Do not be the spender who treats a potential fortune as 5 cents. The next time you receive change, take a moment. Look at the date. Look at the mint mark. Examine the coin under a bright light for the faintest hint of an error. Check the steps on Monticello. Look for doubling, for off-center strikes, for any inconsistency. You are now armed with the knowledge that sets you apart from the masses. You are a seeker of hidden wealth, a guardian of numismatic treasures. And remember, you are not alone in this quest. There are legions of other collectors out there, all looking for that one coin that will change their lives. The thrill of the hunt is real, and the potential reward is astronomical. When you discover a potential error, do not rush to sell at a pawn shop. Do your research. Consult with experts. Have it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC. The investment in professional grading is a tiny fraction of the potential windfall, and it is the only way to unlock the true value of your find. You could be holding a fortune in the palm of your hand, a coin worth $600,000 or even $733,000. But this is just the beginning. The journey to uncovering hidden wealth is a long and winding road, filled with fascinating stories and incredible fortunes. We have only just scratched the surface of the vast and mysterious world of ultra-rare coins. For every 1999 D nickel, there's another coin, another error, another opportunity waiting to be discovered. If you have been captivated by the story of this nickel and want to continue your education, if you want to be the first to know about the next ultra-rare coin that could be hiding in plain sight, then you need to stay on this path. That is why I urge you to hit that subscribe button right now. By subscribing, you are not just following a channel, you are joining a community of like-minded treasure hunters. You are ensuring that you will never miss a video, never miss a critical piece of information that could lead you to your own fortune. But more than that, by subscribing and smashing that bell icon, you are signaling to the algorithm that you are serious about discovering the truth, about uncovering the secrets that the world of numismatics has to offer. Because the next coin we expose could be the one that rewrites your story. The next video in this series will feature a coin so rare, so controversial, and so valuable that it will make even a $733,000 nickel look like pocket change. Do not be left behind. Subscribe now, and let us continue this incredible adventure together.